Wait, is it recording?
Yes, it is. Let's start.
Okay. So first question is, why did we choose this topic?
At the beginning, we did not decide to work on identity. We were initially thinking of working on a more general topic related to colonialism in South Asia. Then I recalled a text from HSC English for Today book that I teach my students, and there I find a text called Toba Texting. Then I read the text and I could immediately connect that to our course content, The Day They Burned the Books, the short story by Jean Rees. Then I shared it with my partner Rafa that should we work on this, or do you have something else in your mind? Interestingly, she was also familiar with the text and she told me that she have also seen the movie Toba Texting, the Bollywood adaptation. And as we both already had some understanding of the text, we thought to work on it. Like, we decided to work on it immediately, as it will save our time and we could write our arguments better as we both know both of the texts.
At the same time, we were already working with The Day They Burned the Books from our syllabus. And we were particularly interested in how it represents identity through cultural influence, especially through Eddie's relationship with English books and his father's idea of Englishness.
And when we placed the two texts side by side, we realized that they were both dealing with identity but in different ways. In The Day They Burned the Books, I have also mentioned this in my video, that identity is shaped internally through colonial ideology and imitation in that story.
Whereas in Toba Texting, identity is disrupted externally through partition, where borders and political decisions redefine a person's sense of belonging.
So we chose this topic because it allowed us to explore how colonialism affects identity from both perspectives, cultural and political, and how in both cases individuals are left struggling to understand where they belong. And as Toba Texting is a strong text, it has also a Bollywood adaptation on it, cinematic adaptation. I thought it will be a great idea to work on it. And Eddie also is a powerful character that shows how colonialism shaped a person. So that's the story of how we chose our topic.
Once we finalized the topic, we focused on developing a clear argument. We did not want to simply retell the stories. Instead, we wanted to show how both texts present identity as fractured and unstable.
At first, our ideas were quite broad. We were saying that colonialism affects identity, but we all know that it does. But that was too general. So we refined it and focused on how identity is either internalized, like in Eddie's case, or imposed externally, like Bishan Singh's case.
This helped us build a clear structure for the video, where each argument develops a specific aspect of identity before bringing them together in the comparison.
One of our biggest challenges was writing the dialogues for Eddie's scene. Our first version focused too much on surface details and did not clearly reflect the idea of colonial identity. Also, we tried to refine the storyline a bit, and we at the starting of our video we tried to do a creative adaptation for Eddie, also for Bishan Singh in some cases, but we wrote Eddie's scenario in a more developed version like the original story. And how he wanted to be an Englishman. Or first, in our first draft, we also mentioned about the strawberry and daffodils. Like Eddie likes the strawberry and daffodils, but we thought we should not mention that, as in the story it clearly mentioned that Eddie does not like those, or his father always goes on about that. So we thought of removing that part, and we tried to refine on the Englishness of Eddie in our new script.
So we went back and revised it. We shifted the focus to English books and the idea that reading them makes Eddie feel closer to being an English. This helped us connect the scene more directly to the concept of mimicry.
We also had to make sure that our creative scenes that we performed in the starting of our video did not drift away from the meaning of the original text, and that required multiple revisions and discussions, as Rafa wanted to add the parts of strawberries and daffodils, whereas I refused because I told her that in the original text it has been mentioned differently, so it will not be a wise idea to add those. Also, another challenge which I want to mention is that shooting our parts individually, like we are doing right now, we were planning to shoot our videos together in the campus, but as we are in the ending time of our semester, we are having multiple quizzes, presentations, these video essays and so on, so we are not getting enough time to sit together and shoot the videos. So that is why we are shooting here individually in our home.
Through this project, we realized that colonialism is not only historical, it continues to shape how individuals think about themselves and their place in the world.
We read about Eddie in our course, and his character helped us understand how colonialism works internally, shaping desire and aspiration. While we were working on Bishan Singh, it showed how identity can be disrupted externally through political decisions like partition. And it made me more sad thinking that from the trauma of partition, even a person with mental disableness cannot escape.
Thus, this contrast deepened our understanding of post-colonial identity as something complex and unresolved.
Now we will talk about how the text we chose has a connection with our course content. Our project connects directly to the concepts we have learned in our course, especially I will say identity fragmentation, which we can connect to both Eddie and Bishan Singh from Tobatek Singh.
We applied these ideas to both texts, even extending them beyond the syllabus to Tobatek Singh to explore a South Asian context. Well, we chose this video as a format because our project is argument driven. We wanted to combine analysis with visuals to make the ideas more engaging.
We chose the video essay format because our project is argument driven. Me and my peer Rafa, we both like argument driven works. We were initially thinking of making short film because of the time duration. Its duration is less than the video essay, but then we thought that no, we were good at argument driven works, so we should work on it, and that's when we wanted to combine analysis with visuals to make the ideas more engaging for our project. We wrote the scripts at the campus, especially the dialogue scenes, which are creative adaptations of the original text. Then we revised those and restructured when we were performing in our video. And the arguments we have written individually at home. Also, when we were meeting at the campus, we were showing those to each other, and we were editing those time to time.
At first, we struggled to balance creativity and accuracy. We did not want to change the meaning of the text, but we also wanted the scenes to feel more real and emotional. Well, it was actually a hassle. We filmed using our phones, and most of the scenes required multiple takes.
One challenge was acting the emotional intensity, especially in Eddie's scene. We had to make sure the conflict felt believable. For example, in the scene where we see Eddie's father verbally abuses his mother, and Eddie stands behind him and he seems really angry and disappointed. We had to take multiple takes for that scene because we wanted to make sure that Eddie's anger, his disappointment, his sadness is shown in the scene.
For toba-texting, I think it was difficult to represent abstract ideas like identity and displacement visually, so we relied more on dialogue and body language.
Now comes the part for tools and editing. So we shot the video using our phones, and for editing we used basic tools like we used CapCut to put our subtitles in the video, also to edit our videos. It was also a bit challenging because we were shooting our videos individually and we had to put subtitles in each of our videos. Then we had to re-upload those in the Google Drive, and finally we edited those and joined them together in the video.
Well, we focused more on clarity of argument rather than high production quality because the main goal was to communicate our ideas effectively.
We learned while making this video that how history can lie to us. For example, both stories deal with official versions of reality that were just fabricated versions from the colonizers.
In the day they burned the books, the kids are taught about strawberries and English meadows they have never seen. Their identity is a textbook they cannot relate to. And similarly, in our daily lives, we also taught from the elementary classes that daffodils are the epitome of happiness and strawberries are the most delicious fruits we can ever have. Whereas in reality, that does not even that much easy to get in our country.
For instance, in Tobatek Singh, the government tries to divide people by religion, but Bishan Singh's identity is tied to the soil of his village. He constantly asks, where is Tobatek Singh? Where is Tobatek Singh? To him, the crisis is not about being Hindu, Muslim or Sikh. It's about the fact that the world has gone crazy and he is the only one who sees it. He has been portrayed as someone who is crazy, but in the reality we see it is the world who has gone crazy, and they are not even leaving a person with mental disableness.
Through both texts, we saw how people are left between cultures, nations and histories, still searching for belonging. This project was not just about analyzing text. It was about understanding how colonialism continues to live within identity itself.